coming in to give you a pregnancy update. I am attempting to sit in front of a temporary background that I have. That I plan on changing this chair and refabbing it. It's something that I was given and it looks kind of worn, but let's get down to the nitty gritty. Hi you guys, and welcome in to getting an update on what's going on in the life of pregnancy. So the last time we spoke, I was catching you guys up on weeks 21 and 22. And some events happened. I'm looking down at my phone because I am keeping up with the pregnancy with a few pregnancy apps. But some things happened and it prevented me from updating you guys accordingly. So where I should have rather put up a video a week ago updating what I'm going to update now. Those said events made it to where I couldn't do so. So I am going to recap weeks 23 and 24. We are I keep saying we because as if it's me and someone else. It's, me and baby. But I'm very much happy to say that I have reached viability. So, during the viability stage, when I didn't have really any significant, symptoms that took place during week 23. Shortly after turning 24 weeks, I had the appointment to get the arm injections to help curb and control the pain that I was having from the pregnancy-induced carpal tunnel. That did help tremendously. I do still feel tingling in my hands throughout the day. I am still feeling joint pain here. And I'm still feeling pain on, both sides in those joints on the wrist. And that is just from me using my hands from day to day. But it has allowed for me to sleep at night. I was having the worst pains with the carpal tunnel in the middle of the night. And given that I am pregnant, I can't take any anti-inflammatories. Honestly, because I have high blood pressure, chronic high blood pressure. So my high blood pressure has nothing to do with pregnancy. I had it prior to getting pregnant. I'm probably going to have it after pregnancy. Because of me having that condition, certain blood pressure pills do not react like they should when you take a anti-inflammatory. So I tend to steer away from them altogether. But they gave injections in the wrist area. And I have to say that as the days progress, excuse me, I am feeling less and less pain in those areas. So that's a great thing for me. But week 24, infamous week 24. I was out to dinner and I just happened to be eating, we were at Olive Garden and I was eating what I always eat at Olive Garden, was the shrimp chicken carbonara with extra carbonara sauce. Banging dish if you ever go to Golden Corral, good Lord. If you ever go to Olive Garden, get this dish. So I'm eating it and just, conversing with the company that we went out with. It was a group of us that went out that night. And I'm noticing what I thought was indigestion pains. But you could see the top right corner of my stomach hardening. And one of the women that was out to dinner with us, she says, it looks as though he shifted from the left side of your stomach to the right side. And it looked as though he was just balled up in one little spot. And I was just like, it hurts, but I'm gonna muster through this. So, needless to say, an hour later, I was still having set pains, and I said, you know what? I can't do this. We're going to have to go to the emergency room or the hospital, labor delivery, whatever they're going to send me out of the hospital. We need to go. So, we get the check. We leave. My husband wants to go on this mad dash rush. And I'm just like, it's not that bad that you need to lose your mind. But the next stop needs to be the hospital. So we ended up going to the hospital. I have to say that I'm glad to know what the procedure is if I go into labor when it's after hours and my OB office, or the OB part of my office, is not open. So I am delivering on a military base. I'm delivering at a naval hospital, and everything is in the naval hospital. So your doctor's in the naval hospital, the emergency room's in the naval hospital, labor and delivery is in the naval hospital. So everything is right there. So I went over to the emergency room, and they immediately got me somewhat checked in. They got me checked in to the point where I did get a bracelet, but within 10 minutes, I was being wheeled to labor and delivery. And I got over to triage and put on the monitor. I have to say that he is sitting very low. So when they went to put me on the monitors, the monitor that they use to track baby's heart rate, where you would generally put it at the top of your belly, baby boy was not there. So they ended up having to put that monitor almost to my pelvic bone, because he was not picking up in any other area. He was moving very, very rapidly everywhere. He is he's a frequent mover, and he moves quite a bit throughout the day. He is not one of those babies that waits until I go to sleep to start cutting up. He cuts up all day. So I get hooked up to the monitors. The midwife comes in, and she says, you're having mild contractions, but not enough that I am convinced that you're going to be in labor. But they gave me some medication to stop said contractions, and they gave me, something for the pain. She did do a cervical check, and she said everything looked fine, but that she was going to send me home, but she was going to send me home on bed rest, because I had a regular OB appointment coming up scheduled that following Wednesday. And so I did that. I went to the appointment. So I sat on bed rest for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Excuse me, that's the 2:30 alarm to remind me I have to go get the 6-year-old from school in 15 minutes. However, I'm not going to pick him up today. His dad's going to pick him up. But anyway, I sat on bed rest for about 4 or 5 days. So I sat on bed rest for about a week, which what felt for a week for me. And I have to say, spending the remainder of week 24 on bed rest was irritating. It was annoying, frustrating. I am very hands-on when it comes to the managing of the house, and I have certain schedules and rules and things, I have certain things set in motion for the kids. So right now, the younger two of the bunch is in the house. So we have the 14-year-old and 6-year-old in the house. And so I have to parent kind of differently because of the 8-year gap between the two. He'll be the 14-year-old will be 15 in December. So there's an 8-year gap between them. So, about a 7.5-year gap, something like that. I could not do that from my room. And my son, my 6-year-old, goes to a private school here. And so his classes started a week after the 14-year-old. The 14-year-old went to the same private school last year, but he asked and pleaded, begged and pleaded to go to public school. And as much as I don't want to send him to public school, I have my own personal reasons. I finally caved in and I allowed him to go to public school. So he started school the week before my 6-year-old. So while I'm on bed rest, my 6-year-old is going to his first day of first grade. And I pretty much was on bed rest for that half of that week that he was first week of school. So I did, go to this appointment and I made sure I asked, could I get off of bed rest? Was there things that I could do that did not require me laying in bed all the time? And it was explained to me that historically, it is believed that bed rest would prevent preterm labor. However, obstetricians and midwives are beginning to think that the bed rest doesn't really prevent preterm labor to an extent, and it could possibly hinder it. With the non-movement, you could get blood clots, and it could be, it could end up being not well for the mother as a whole. So I was released, and the day that I got released off of bed rest actually was the day after I turned 25 weeks. So that's the only reason why I'm including the events of that in this video. It's because I started bed rest during 24 weeks, and I concluded bed rest the day after I turned 25 weeks. So yeah, 23 weeks was pretty a breeze. I got the injection. I instantly felt relief with the injection. They do give you lidocaine included with the steroid shot that they give for the carpal tunnel. I'm not going to say that it is 100% better. Like I said, I still feel joint pain. I do still, feel tenderness and tingling, but it did make me be able to sleep at night. And that was my biggest concern, was me being able to get sleep. Let's see. At that point, between the 23-24 week range as well, no weight gain. 211 pounds has been the number that I've just teetered at since 12 weeks pregnant. If I can look and see down at one of my apps, I have apps that I have several pregnancy apps because they all do different things. That keeps track of everything. And I just want to check and see when the week was. So just excuse me, you guys. Here we go. I found the app. All right. So I have, let me back up so I can show you guys what I'm doing. It's the Ovia app. I have the Ovia app downloaded onto my iPhone, and that app allows me to keep track of the actual months and weeks. So yeah, my son, my 14-year-old started school August 23rd. And the week of my 23rd week, I had to look at the calendar so I could tell you guys what happened, because once week 24 went on, I really just was so concerned about the bed rest that I don't have any memory really, but of what happened during my 23rd week. But my 23rd week was actually the week of August 18th. I turned 23 weeks on August 17th. And that was the week of my husband's birthday. And because of COVID, he decided he wanted to go back to his hometown and celebrate his birthday. And because of COVID and whatnot, I opted not to go with him. So I stayed home. And I have to say, I had a burst of energy out of nowhere. I was going to the pond with the kids to feed the ducks, and we were doing activities with the kids, because technically for my 14-year-old, he was already in school, but for the 6-year-old, this was his last official week of summer, and my 4-year-old had been gone for the entire summer. So I was trying to do some activities with them when he would get home from school, just so we could get some, some time apart, not apart, but some time together before we get into the rigor of, and the humdum of being in school. So yeah, week 23, I just got this burst of energy. I wanted to go ahead and get the nursery organized and do an inventory of what was in the nursery and what still needed to be in the nursery. I did do some last minute shopping for the baby as far as clothes goes, because my husband was in his hometown of Baltimore. They have better pricing on their clothes up there. They have a better selection of styles for children or just people in general. And generally during Labor Day, we always make a trip up there and spend time with his family for Labor Day. I don't know why we always do it Labor Day weekend, but Labor Day weekend, we always make a trip to Baltimore for the weekend. And that's when I generally do all of the kids' school shopping, because my money goes a little bit farther up there. I don't know why, but it just does. So being that I couldn't go up there, my husband did video me and FaceTime me, and we shopped via FaceTime. So I did during week 23, get the rest of everything that's needed for the baby. So we're good to go, because in my mind, I wanted at least a minimum amount of everything that I needed for baby boy during week 23, just so if we got to the point where anything happened during viability week and he was taken early, I was prepared. So we are all good. He has more than enough clothes, more than enough shoes, socks. Again, we're cloth diapering, and I'll do a separate video sharing my cloth diaper stash. So yeah, week 23, with that burst of energy, my husband and I were able to do some last minute shopping. If some of you notice, I am ringless. So I had said before in previous videos that my wedding bands, I have 2 sets. So I have one for each hand. My fingers were getting swollen, and so I couldn't wear my regular wedding bands. And my husband went and got me a silicone wedding band, and that began to be tight around my fingers. So now I'm just ringless, and so I have the baby and I can get this fluid off of me. I have noticed the start of week 23 that my nose is spreading and getting fatter. My face is getting a little more rounder. I feel like my stomach is not getting any bigger or any smaller. It does fluctuate in size still throughout the day based upon what I eat and when I eat. I will say that during week 23 and 24, the sensitivity to smells heightened. So I can't stand the smell of raw meat. And if I smell the raw meat while you're cooking it, I can smell the blood in the raw meat. And that makes me not want to eat at all. Even when it's done, I will look down at that meat and I'll be like, it's a dead carcass. And that is a symptom I had from the beginning of the pregnancy that I am exhibiting again. So that's weird. I have not picked back up on the vomiting. The nausea is just there from smells. What else? Oh, I've begun to take stool softeners on a regular basis because I'm not going to the bathroom. And that picks back up at 23 weeks. So the feeling of constipation is ridiculous. It's uncomfortable and it's just ridiculous. So I did add stool softeners back during week 23, and I generally drink a cup of coffee every day. I try to drink it first thing in the morning, so that not really that I'm a super huge coffee drinker. It's just that if I drink the coffee, it helps me go to the bathroom. So yeah, that has been helping. And that was a symptom that I developed during the bed rest, was needing to add, you know, apple juice or coffee with the stool softener to make me go. I don't know if during week 24, because of the bed rest and not moving around, that had an effect on my digestive system. I don't know. But that was a new symptom. That's pretty much it. I can do a bump check and let you guys see. But honestly, you can let me know in the comments if you see otherwise. I feel like my bump is still the same size, you guys. I really do. Let me move y'all back. Yeah, I honestly feel that it hasn't gotten bigger. It hasn't gotten smaller. I feel like I'm in that in-between state where I can wear maternity clothes, but then I can still wear some of my regular clothes. Like the other day, it was like 102 degrees outside, and I threw on a pair of regular shorts and they buttoned. So I don't know. But everything looks fine as far as baby boy is concerned. So let me stand up. And let me move you guys around just a bit. So there's the belly lifted up. There's the side view. And there's a front view. And there's another side view. The B part of my belly is starting to go away. Last time I showed you guys a bump, this was more the letter B. This right here is still flabby, but when you touch it, it's definitely hard to the touch. So yeah. Bump check. I don't feel like I have any new stretch marks. I mean, these stretch marks are 21 years in the game. My oldest is 21 and I am 41. So they've been with me for a while. So I don't think that this baby is stretching me out any further than my other babies. Another symptom that I had noticed during 23 and 24 weeks is I'm out of breath. And I am very preventive when it goes to me going out in public. So I do wear my mask when I'm out. I have not vaccinated. I don't have any intentions on vaccinating while pregnant. I will get vaccinated once I have the baby. That's just my personal preference. I'm not anti-vaccine. My son is, my 14-year-old is completely vaccinated. My husband is completely vaccinated. And the only people in my household at the moment that is not vaccinated is myself and my 6-year-old son. I just don't feel comfortable vaccinating while pregnant, and I am not really going to change my mindset on that. It's one of the questions they ask you on the application is, one of the questions they ask you on the application is, are you pregnant? And I would rather be able to check and say, no, I'm not. I don't want to take those chances. So yeah. But I probably will go ahead and drop another video very, very soon and frequently after I do upload this one, just for the simple fact that being on that bed rest threw me off. And I am behind in videos because I am 26 weeks in one day. So I should be recording a video for weeks 25 and 26 and uploading it to you guys now. But because of the bed rest and I could not get to do anything, I'm just now doing so. So yeah. Probably next week you'll see another video load up, which is going to be piggybacking behind this video. So you guys be happy on purpose. Understand that I'm doing my best to stay up to date with everything. It's just the closer we get to the end, the harder it is for me to do stuff. So I'm trying to stay up to date, and this week 25, 26 video is going to be so exciting for me because some really exciting things happened over the past weekend, and I can't wait to share those things with you guys. So be happy on purpose, and Samuel and I see you at the next video.